Okay, today is March the 11th, 2016, and it's 10:40 p.m. right now in Los Angeles. And in the foothills, we have a temperature of 42 degrees. The relative humidity is 99%. The dew point is 42 degrees, and the barometric pressure is 29.98. And we're watching the western U.S. water vapor loop. We had a storm move through California several hours ago that dumped 0.53 inches of rain here in the foothills, and we had a little bit of wind along with that, but that's moved through. And what we see next here is we have a radar generated high pressure zone right through here. We see the core of that system quickly disappear as this zone of high pressure is installed. We can see the front still moving things up to the north, but right here we have a very strong jet stream. It's moving right into California here and then turning up to the north, but they have this high pressure area right here to prevent this flow from feeding this system right here. So we've got they don't want this system to continue to feed this, so they've got a zone of high pressure that's man-made with a phased array radar right here, this long narrow strip of black, and we've got high pressure right here as well. That's all being installed. This high pressure is following this storm system as it moves through the area, and we will watch what happens. Also, we have a zone of high pressure. This is man-made, radar generated all through here, and that is going to prevent this front from mixing with this upper level low pressure system right here. All right, let's take a look at some of these other maps. We have the infrared loop. We can see the intensity of all this moisture that just moved through. We have this front that is now moving easterly, and but it will not merge with this because they've got a very strong zone of high pressure installed right here all the way around that. This is parked over Texas. This low pressure system right here this is about the third day. It was over Mexico down here, and then it moved up. It's continued to move very slowly, and right there is where it sits, and they're not going to allow this weather to mix with this, so that's why they have this high pressure zone installed. And we can go back here and take a look at that. That's fairly pronounced. All right, here is the bigger picture, the Northeast Pacific water vapor loop. We can see that jet stream moving right towards California, and right down here the map is showing the weather turning to the north. All right, here is the infrared loop. We can see the intensity of the moisture in that jet stream field as it moves towards California. And we have a weather system right here. We'll take a look at the surface analysis map here in a second. Here is the jet stream map. You can see that high speed, high velocity airflow moving down, then turns to the north, and then out to the east. All right, we can see a low pressure indicated right out here. All right, next is the Pacific surface analysis map, and we can see the low pressure right here over California. This just moved through. We have a second low right behind it. This is a gale force low, and we have a couple of ridges of high pressure just right over the Central California area. Los Angeles is right down here, and there is some rain forecast for Monday morning, and that may come from this front right here. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But the high pressure over, the blocking high pressure that had been preventing all this stuff from moving in is broken down. We can see these lines are would be conducive, would be favorable for allowing more rain to move in, except for these little ridges here. And we'll just have to see what happens. And we have this 975 millibar system up here. Looks like it's been hit pretty hard. It's not very organized, but it is up there, and it has a fairly low pressure. It's a storm. We will keep an eye on that and see what direction that takes. Okay, here's the sea level pressure analysis. Pretty much the same map, the same information. We can see some ridges right here over Central California. Down in Southern California, we could possibly get some weather in here if this little front moves down. We'll have to see what they do. We've got a low right here. That's the one that just moved through, dropping 0.53 inches in our foothill area. And we can see a high pressure zone right here, right next to that low, spinning over Texas. So we have a high pressure here right next to a low. Okay, let's next look at the 500 millibar. You can see that trough, low pressure moving through the area. And we see the low, that's been there for 3 days now, just sitting pretty much stationary, spinning around. They've got it corralled with high pressure so that nothing from the Pacific Ocean will merge with that. Okay, next is the 300 millibar. We've got a low up here, that storm. We've got this trough moving through, and we've got a couple of ridges right here. But we have this thing here has been sitting there for 3 days. All right, so next is the this is the Modus Today map for today, and we are watching. This is Los Angeles right here, and today, before it started raining around 1:30, you know, this morning was actually sunny, and I walked out the door without a jacket. But I looked to the south and I saw all kinds of very dark clouds. But I also saw chemtrails in the skies. And so what we see in the map today is a lot of chemtrails to the east. This map has been spliced together. We can see that right here. If we pan to the east, we can see very, very heavy aerosols sprayed in the skies everywhere. We can see the lines all over. They're all through the map. Especially right here, we can see the lines running diagonally. Go offshore, we can see some natural clouds, and we can see some chemtrail mix. Something over here doesn't look natural. It looks like a chemtrail mix. This is some of that front that moved through and dumped rain. Right, here's the California and Nevada border, and we can see a lot of chemtrail mix right here. And this is the Colorado River. There's just a lot of chemtrailing all through here. Okay, so next let's look at the south central water vapor loop. And we can see that a very, very large vortex spinning. This has been parked more or less for 3 days. And Mexico is right here. This system was actually down over here for 1 day, and then it moved up right around here, and then today it's right here. But all during that time, the last 3 days, this has been winding a lot of severe thunderstorms and rain right into Louisiana, Mississippi, and all these states down here, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and I've not seen anything mentioned on the news about this, but they are getting a lot of severe weather. I know the Harp Report guy is somewhere in Texas, but he doesn't do videos too much very often. So anyway, this is a huge system, and here is the rainbow loop. And we'll keep an eye on this. This is the Gulf of Mexico. They very warm water in this area here. We'll have to see what happens next. But they are keeping this corralled because of the weather that is moving in from the Pacific. If this moves north and gets mixed up with the other weather, this could become a superstorm. So I could understand the thinking behind maybe blocking that, keeping it out of the path of the other storms. All right, here is the SSEC geostationary water vapor map. And we can see California right here. We've got the jet stream moving in. I'm going to forecast that tomorrow will be a day that we're going to see a lot of aerosols as this next moisture field moves through. Right here, we can already see some chemtrail activity right here, right there. So tomorrow morning and tomorrow all day, I forecast chemtrails in the skies. Okay, so that's pretty much the summary for tonight, and we will do another update tomorrow. Okay, that's it.